Powered by Riverside.
It's the Dynasty front office, and we are building you championships one trade at a time. I'm your host, Jesse Schneeman, and I am here with the two best friends anyone could ever have. That's right, we're back, starting with the auspicious Austin Bell. How you doing tonight, Austin?
Jesse, I'm doing phenomenal, man. Back at it. It's football season. My team plays this week, or at least some form of them. So I'm good to go, man. How are you?
Just a preseason game this week?
Yeah. Hall of Fame game is Thursday night.
It always sneaks up on me. That's awesome. Right on.
It is time.
Cool. Try not to get anybody hurt.
I know that's right.
That's all I care about in the preseason. And my main man, Chad Mendoza. How you doing tonight, Chad?
I'm great, man. I am fantastic. I'm ready to watch some football, ready to talk about football. Man, it's been too long.
It has been too long. It's been a couple months. I didn't really truly believe we could stay away for this long, but we did.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the break a little bit, but yeah, it's time to get back to it.
Yeah, I did as well. Been to the beach a bunch of times. Main vacation is at the end of the month. We're going to Lake Tahoe. I've never been. Yeah, I've only been through Nevada and California. I've never been really been to. So exciting for me. You guys got anything coming up? Nope.
Football,
Football,
work.
yeah.
That's about it.
Right on. All right, Austin, why don't you tell people where they can find us when we're not podcasting?
Yeah, man. Find us at YouTube and Facebook at Dynasty Front Office, Twitter and X at Front Office FF. And as always, the description for the Discord, the Discord is in the description. Make sure you check that out. We're always talking about, everything from trades to, as Jesse just said, travel and leisure and everything. It's a blast in there, and it's been pretty active even in the summer. So I've noticed it started picking up with training camp news and everything. So it's been fun. So make sure you check it out.
Yep. And we're going to talk about, sorry. So what are we doing tonight?
This week, we're going to talk about QB rankings coming into the 2026 season, as well as a trade banger of the week and our new segment, front office focus player. So that should be pretty exciting.
So yeah, all of these rankings will be posted in our Discord. Discussion going on. There will be a discussion going on there.
Yeah, there will. Always is.
Yeah, but get on in there to the Discord. That's the best way to engage, manage your team.
That's right.
All right, gentlemen, let's do some QB rankings.
Let's do it.
You knew I was going to use that transition.
Yeah, I knew you couldn't resist.
All right, Chad. How many people, let me ask you this, how many quarterbacks do you have in your tier one?
I've got one.
All right, so I don't have to ask who that is. It's Josh. Austin, do you have anybody else in your tier one?
I do not.
Okay. I'm with you guys. Yeah, Josh, tier one. Tier two.
5 guys?
5 guys.
Like the restaurant?
Yeah, I've got 4. So,
Okay.
one's probably pushed down a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah, 4 to 6, I guess. I don't know. Somewhere in there. I have 2 guys I want to put in that tier, but realistically, they're probably not there yet. So I think 4 may be the correct answer.
Okay. Not that I want to do a whole, list of tiers or anything like that. I was just curious. So, does everybody have Drake May too?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. You don't sound that confident.
I do not.
Yeah.
Or I am not. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Was there any thought at all in your mind that you would put him number 1?
No. Now, after this season, if he can replicate to some fashion what he did last season, absolutely. He will probably be the clear one.
Mm-hmm.
But
clear
we've been
one.
burned. Yeah. we've been burnt. He's what, 6 years younger than Josh Allen?
Mm-hmm.
7 years younger? I mean, just that alone is going to make him.
But then you have to weigh that with, all right, so you're getting a younger guy, but is he going to win you a championship as easily as Josh Allen? I mean, he's a wagon. He's going to tow your entire team.
Till he doesn't. I mean, he'll be 31 next year.
Mm-hmm.
That play style can only last for so long. So that's why he wouldn't be the 101 if the situation happened. But like I said, we're a whole season away before that discussion has to be made.
Chad, do you think he's that close?
I mean, it's completely dependent on the season, right? And it's tough to predict. A player having back-to-back seasons like Drake May had in his first season, which makes it really hard to rank him as a second overall quarterback. But with some dips in the older veterans, he's kind of there by default. But I wouldn't bet on him taking Josh Allen's place after the season. I think maybe that's a couple years down the road if he does, actually maintain some kind of form here. But yeah, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough.
I think it'd be easier for him to fall down the list than to move up the list.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
But
yeah, it's just, I think it's easier for any of these guys to fall, right? That's what makes Josh Allen so special is that this is like the 6th, 7th year that we're seeing a QB1 or QB2 finish in a row. It's unprecedented. He's just, easy going every single year. You can depend on him. And you just can't find that at the quarterback position.
Yeah, it used to be Josh and Pat. Now it's just Josh.
Yeah, I mean, May only finished 15 points behind him last year. So, like I said, if he puts up that kind of numbers again, for me, he's going to be the clear 101.
Yeah, I don't think anybody doubts that. I was just saying, like, it's kind of hard to predict that because it just doesn't typically happen for quarterbacks having those kind of seasons back to back. That's what makes Josh Allen who he is.
Yeah,
it would be pretty special if Drake May was able to replicate that and come up with a nearly 600-point season again.
Okay. Yeah, my biggest concern with Drake May is that, maybe he just doesn't have as much magic this year. Maybe A.J. Brown, well, we'll get to him later in our player profile focus, but what if he really has lost a step or is a day closer or a year closer to being washed and didn't really add anything to that offense? And, what if he regresses a little? We saw it happen to Daniels, an injury, offensive line doesn't play that great. It's a slippery slope for Drake May.
For sure.
Yeah. But I mean, speaking of Jaden Daniels, I know we're not going to go one by one through our list here, but he's my QB3. So there is a little bit of safety here.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. There's a little bit of safety here in that we know what kind of talent these players are. And, maybe Jaden Daniels a little bit more so with the rushing upside. Although Drake Mays is pretty high as well, there is a pretty good floor there. Even if we do see an injury or something, people know like these guys are going to be able to put up points.
I have Daniels 9, but that's a pretty fluid tier. Like Josh, and then May, Lamar, Burr and Herbert. May, Lamar, and Burr is a tier, and then Herbert, Mahomes, Hurts, Daniels, and Caleb are all a tier for me. Any of those guys could hop up into the top 5 pretty easily, with just one good season. All of them sort of need a bounce back of sorts. None of them really had a top 10 QB year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an interesting kind of landscape with quarterback right now because there's so many really interesting kind of situations going on within the league and players that you think could hypothetically take a leap up or could take a step back. So I think the first 3 tiers honestly are going to be extremely fluid this year for me, and that's the top 10 players.
That's 3 tiers for me as well. Yeah.
Same.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, I mean I wouldn't be surprised if 3 of my third tier are in the top 5, after the season. So, it's a really good time to have an issue at quarterback, because I think there's a lot of good guys you can take a shot on if you're trying to make a trade and get somebody that maybe somebody else has a little bit more depressed than you do.
Yeah, I agree with that. So, where do you guys have Herbert? I'm very high on him this year.
I have him at 8.
Hey, I have him at 8 too.
Okay, I have him at 5. Do you have like Mahomes and Chad, you have Daniels above him. Is that
I have Mahomes, Caleb, and Daniels above him.
okay?
Yeah, I have all those guys ahead of him too.
But it's close.
Not for Mahomes. I actually, to be honest, he's the first player of that next little tier for me. I kind of have Caleb and Daniels in a little small tier together. I would take those two over Herbert pretty much every time.
Wow. Okay.
And I mean, Herbert has the ability to easily jump up. Sure. We just haven't seen it in 4 years now. So I'm not going to just guess.
I mean,
I see the talent. Sure.
Plays.
I mean, I see talent in a lot of people, but that doesn't mean they're going to get me production.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can't just blanket statement it. You have to analyze why, like last year it was clear that they lost their top 3 tackles after week 4.
Yeah.
So
what
they
about the year before that?
I don't remember specifically, but the offensive coaching was poor.
What about the one before that?
Oh my goodness. We're talking about,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, that's my point is I need to see the production.
Yeah. I hear what you're saying. He's never had a good offensive coach until now. I mean, I'm not going to say Greg Roman is a bad offensive coach, but he's not good for fantasy. Not good for a quarterback, like for a passing game for fantasy. He's terrible. Now it's Mike McDaniel, with Herbert, who I believe is as talented as anyone in the league outside of Josh. I mean, Josh is just on a different level. But outside of him, Herbert is just as talented as any of these guys. He's got the weapons, Hampton, Ladd, Aranda Gadsden. I mean, say what you want about QJ, but I mean, he looked pretty good last year. And then, the second year guy, Trey Harris. I don't want to name all their weapons, even though I just did. And Choku. I'm just saying he's got the weapons, he's got the system, and he's got the talent. I'm there. I'm all on board.
I think having him at 8 is kind of baking in the talent, right? Like he's got one finish better than QB8 since he's been in the league. And when did he come in? Like 2020, 2019 or something like that?
20.
So yeah. So, I mean, we're saying like, we think this guy is better than what he's been finishing. It's just kind of hard to put him too far ahead of that when there's other players that are kind of in the same boat where you're saying, okay, there's so many different quarterbacks in the league right now that are capable of a top 5 finish.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you could say the same thing for Caleb. I look at what he's got going on, and he could easily be just top 3 by the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
absolutely.
With again, do you want me to name all of his weapons and his offensive coach?
No, let's skip that part. But yeah, no, point made. We agree.
Yeah, so I see those guys in similar fashion. I just think that marriage of McDaniels and Herbert is
but it's likely a 1-year marriage. So I mean, that's cool for this year. And in redraft, Herbert would be my QB of choice. But that's not what we're playing here.
Yeah, but then you get that crazy value spike, and you trade him at whatever value you need to.
Yeah, you
trade him for Caleb plus.
The inverse is a problem as well, though, right? Like, let's say he has his typical QB10, QB12 finish or later even, right? There's going to come a point where people are just going to say, the guy's not doing it. He's not doing it, and his value is going to drop. Do I want that over a guy like Caleb, who can probably afford a couple of seasons of mediocrity? QB10, QB9 before his value truly drops. Jaden Daniels with the injury history, that can be a little scary. So we'll kind of, sidestep that one. But there's a few guys that if they have that, just borderline QB10 finish in the next 2 years, they're kind of going to maintain where they're at. Herbert, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if he can afford that.
Yeah, I mean, I have him
Interesting
above
call.
Jalen Hurts, Jesse. I mean, what else do you want from me?
I most
Even
of
though
these
Hurts
guys.
has outproduced him pretty much their entire careers.
Yeah, he's one of the toughest guys for me to rank is Jalen
Yeah,
Hurts.
same here.
I have him as at QB9, and I kind of want to put
Me
him
too.
higher, but it's hard to put him ahead of Justin Herbert or Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow.
I have him at 8, so we're pretty similar on Hurts. Yeah, I agree because he stopped running last year. So we all expect that we think that was a coaching thing, but we don't know. We don't know
But he
for
still
sure.
outscored Herbert.
Okay.
But that's kind of my say. Like, even a bad year.
But
like
the Eagles didn't have the same, like the level. The Eagles had bad problems on offense, but not the level that the Chargers had.
Yeah.
I mean, if Hurts doesn't go back to the same level of rushing, it's going to be trouble. I mean, I do think that he's going to put up better passing numbers than he has, but it's always been like his rushing touchdowns that prop him up. And if he doesn't get those, he's in trouble.
Yeah. That's the scariest part about him. And that's why, going back to these conversations, sometimes it's not just about the stat line. Sometimes it's looking at the game, looking at the production and how they're getting it. And how how the actual production is trending and saying, with a guy like Jalen Hurts, like, do I believe he's going to be a top 10 fantasy scorer for quarterbacks probably every year that he's on the Eagles for as long as he's on the Eagles? I think so. But do I want to pay the QB3 price for him, which you would have had to pay last year, the year before, when I know this is predicated pretty much based off the situation entirely? I mean, it's going to be rough if Jalen Hurts doesn't get back to running the ball. So it was really tough. But if you're able to get him at QB10, QB9, QB8 prices right now, I think that's great. That is a great price to buy in on him.
Yeah, I would love to flip T-Law for Hurts.
Yeah, me too.
What's the risk with T-Law?
He goes back to who he was. I mean, we see so much QB variance year to year.
True.
Why am I going to believe that his rushing that happened all of a sudden? Sure, it could be linked to Liam Cohen, and if we see it this year, maybe it is.
That wasn't all of a sudden. He's always had that in his bag.
Lawrence is like the polished Sam Darnold.
Yeah,
he's like Sam Darnold, but somebody polished him up. Everybody kind of loves him, but
he's more athletic and has a better arm.
Darnold's pretty athletic.
Darnold's got a good arm, but I mean, Trevor's very athletic.
I'm more so talking about the production side of it. I'm not talking about their specific talents. The production is just up and down with him. We don't know what he's going to look like from game to game. Typically in a season, last year was magical. We hope he can reproduce that, but there's also a lot of question marks in the offense, right? Like, we don't know what that offense is going to look like. We don't even know who the top 2 wide receivers in that offense are.
Or the running back.
Yeah, or the running back.
Well, we don't know the hierarchy, but we do know that it's talented.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just hard to base paying a substantially higher price on a quarterback you could have gotten for a lot cheaper the year before, when there still are so many question marks. Typically, when you see a pretty big value jump and a pretty big production jump, you can kind of figure out the reason why. I mean, I don't know. It's just kind of still a messy situation in my eyes.
He had 2 less rushing attempts than Jalen Hurts last year.
I don't even have Trevor in the same tier as Jalen Hurts. He's a tier below.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Should we talk about the next group?
Yeah.
So for me, it's and tell me if I need to take out or add some players, but for me, it's like Lawrence, Darnold, Purdy, Nix, Dart. And I don't know if I want to put Love in that tier or not.
I mean, I have the same names, but considerably different order.
Well, you could scramble that order up and I'd be fine with it any way you like, to be honest.
I bet you wouldn't, because I have Dart first in that. And
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. Yeah. He's my 10.
I've got Dart at the bottom of tier 3, so he.
Last guy in the tier.
Mike, Chad.
I think that's internet.
No, I think it's Mike. I think he hit it. But yeah,
All right. So I have. So you're saying, that if you have him clearly all right, you're just saying you have clearly him at the top of the.
Yeah, like
you're not saying
I would
he's-
take him over every guy each time.
Why?
Like he's high. So I thought about this. I'm going to ask y'all later, but he's the quarterback I'm most excited for going into this year. I think he might be one of the most dangerous quarterbacks, but he also has an insane ceiling for what we can see on a fantasy side.
The chat's back on.
Okay, sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. No problem.
Yeah, so I was just saying I have Dart in the bottom of my tier 3. He's the very last guy, so I have him QB 10. And my tier 4 is very long. So mine goes from 11 to 22 is my tier 4.
So what I like about him over some of these guys is the elite wide receiver option. Yeah. There's just nobody else has neighbors, but Darnold has JSN. Purdy and Nix and Love to me and Lawrence would all take a hit because of that. Like if you're evaluating them, all putting him in the bag and shaking him up, I would rather have the guy, the quarterback that has the elite wide receiver. So I could see having Dart at the top. The concern for me is that his rushing stuff really props him up, right? And the passing analytics were not great. I don't want to say ugly, but they're not great and not strongly predictive of great passing numbers. So if you really believe in the rushing and you really believe that Neighbors is going to lift his game, then absolutely put him at the top of that tier. I don't have a problem with that. But those, to me, that's the risk, is that he's not a good enough passer. And, if they play to try to stop his run, maybe you can minimize him a little bit.
I push back on that.
Sure.
I push back on that. I do think the unpredictability of the offense was apparent, but a lot of that was due to injuries. His number one wide receiver was Darius Slayton. And then, guys that were his wide receiver twos in the offense were guys that were picked off of practice squads. So,
well, he had Wandale.
No, but Wandale got hurt.
Wandale put up a heck of a season. No, I don't think so.
No, I'm sorry. I'm thinking the year before. So, Wandale did have a good season. So there was Wandale. Darius Slayton was number 2. Darius Slayton got hurt. And there was some. Sorry, I should know this. I'm the Giants fan. But a lot of the guys that were, in the offense were guys that were picked up on the practice squad. He was making a lot of stuff happen himself. And so, a lot of it was out of structure and just kind of playing backyard ball. But he was a truck. He was pulling that trailer for the entire team all season long. So when Scatterbo went down, it was even more so the case. I thought I saw not just a franchise quarterback, but a really high-end franchise quarterback. I'm excited for what he looks like in a more structured offense with more talented players on the perimeter, and also Scatterbo back, because their chemistry was pretty awesome for a running back quarterback tandem. They are gonna run the football a lot, I think, this season, but I think Dart's gonna be able to do more with more this year, which is how it should be.
Yeah, the weapons are obviously a huge upgrade at this point, but the coaching is Nagy, right? Not really been conducive to downfield passing attack and big passing numbers. That gives me a concern.
It depends on how you're looking at it, right? With Trubisky, he put Trubisky through some really good seasons as a quarterback, and he kind of fizzled out after they parted ways. What's that?
What's really good?
I mean, Trubisky had a top 10 dynasty finish, didn't he?
Did he?
Pretty sure.
Let me see.
Okay.
15. He's 15.
Okay, that's
so with Nagy, he had
I
a
can
15
buy.
Finish.
Well, if Dart finishes 15, that's not, that's not.
He's a much more talented player than Trubisky. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying
Agreed,
is Trubisky is a
of course.
very bad quarterback who actually looked like a pretty good quarterback that year. So yeah, I mean, and that was in 14 games that he finished 15. But yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Like, yeah, people make of it what they will with him going back to Kansas City and Kansas City's numbers going down. But I think that's people trying to make things out of nothing or drawing conclusions. Everybody knows that's Andy Reid's offense. It's not, it's not anything Nagy's doing in that offense is making it worse. That is Andy Reid's system. That's Andy Reid calling plays. It's an Andy Reid offense. The problem with Kansas City is that they've become so poor from a talent perspective, outside of Patrick Mahomes, that it's catching up to him. So
before that, he was in Chicago and it did not look good.
Oh, Chicago.
I mean, it was Chicago. Like, their players weren't good.
Yeah, but he had Fields.
I get your reservations, Jesse. It's just we don't know. I mean, there's no way to know that.
So
I think the hope is the talent of the QB outdoes the situation of the offense with the talent of the receiver.
Yeah, I don't want to come out too negative on Dart. I really like Dart. I pay a high price for him. Just wanted to throw out the, where it could go wrong for him.
Jesse, you had Darnold, I think, second in the tier. Is that right?
That's right.
So is it 11th is for you?
Yeah. What was his finish?
13.
Okay.
I don't see the ceiling.
No.
That's kind of why he's at the bottom of the tier for me.
I just think he's going to finish.
What number is he for you? Because I'm probably even lower. Okay, he's 21 for me.
Ooh. I mean, I like the security of him. That's why I have him over the next group of guys. And I do think having JSN helps a lot. But I don't see the ceiling. I think he's the perfect QB2.
I think he's a locked-in high-end QB2, and that's.
But you're having him as a QB1. Okay. That's kind of why I'm like that. And I know you said it's a fluid tier. I get it. It
is
having them above guys who could finish at QB3, 4, 6.
I mean, I also have. I don't know. Do you really think that he can't? Why can't he?
I mean, he had a ridiculous season last year and finished at 13.
A lot of these guys haven't.
I mean, he had 477 attempts. He's got to throw the ball. Like, he had an amazingly efficient season. I think when you're asking a guy not throwing the football to replicate amazingly efficient seasons every single year, it's just typically not going to happen.
Yeah. He also lost his running back.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I know they drafted a running back, but he's
got to throw the ball. Like, that's the thing is I'm not saying Darnold is the 21st best quarterback in the league. I'm saying he's not throwing the football. So if he's not going to be incredibly efficient like he was, he had a really good season. But it's just hard to it's the same thing with, it's the same thing, but at a lower tier for Justin Herbert, right? The argument against Justin Herbert is he's just not throwing the football. Or that's been the argument. Sam Darnold, obviously lesser talent than Justin Herbert, but in the same kind of situation, he's just not throwing the football. So if we see the attempts go up this year and he is somewhere around the efficiency he had last season, it could be really, really good. But
well, there's your upside.
But we need the defense to be worse is what we need.
Mm.
And I don't know if that's going to happen.
But that can always
outside
happen.
Of injuries.
That takes 2 injuries. You know what I mean? Like 2 key injuries, and that happens. They lost Reek Woolen already.
Yeah, I mean, he was already their 3rd best corner, so that's fine.
Not really.
He was, but that's
no, not Josh Jobe is not better than him. He's better in certain packages. So, I mean, I also have Purdy right there, and I mean, I could go on and on with all the issues with Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's throwing the Debo again. I mean,
the offense is scary. If really they can stay healthy, he could just absolutely demolish the season. But man, it's a bunch of players that could be hurt.
Yeah,
absolutely right.
Yeah.
So, I just think everyone in that tier has things that could really, really go wrong for them, except for Darnold. He's pretty much, that's why I have him in that tier. Is like, he's pretty much, in my mind, outside of injury, he's a lock to be there.
I mean, we're talking about a quarterback that has had 2 good fantasy seasons in a very long time. We can't say he's immune from ever having a bad season. Like, it could fall apart. Like,
well, yeah, I mean, he did lose his offensive coach.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's the most likely thing in the world, but I'm just saying, like, let's take a step back here and say we're not talking about a top 10 quarterback. We're talking about it. It can fall apart for any of these guys, especially so for a guy like Darnold who has struggled in the past. Baker, it fell apart for this past season, and we didn't think that would happen.
That's true.
Yeah, he was terrible after week 4.
He
absolutely terrible.
He feels disrespected for it too.
Yeah, believe me, he let everybody know.
Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, it's great. Sam Darnold, it does feel like a pretty safe option, but I think we should also take a step back and say, there is still some danger with a guy who is just now finding his footing again.
Yeah, I'll defend having Darnold in that tier, but I'll not defend having him at 2 because, like I said, it could be Dart, it could be.
Yeah, that's fine. I guess my thought process is I would rather have the ceiling than the floor. So that's why I would rather have Dart, Lawrence, Nix ahead of him.
Fair.
And I even have Jordan Love ahead of him. But
yeah, I have Love ahead of him too.
I think he's a considerably higher asset possibility.
I was going to ask you guys about that. I struggle to even have Love in that tier.
Wow, he outscored Darnold last year.
Did he?
Yeah, at 1 point, but he outscored him.
I mean, talk about another guy that needs to throw the ball. That's kind of my issue with him.
I mean, he's throwing the ball at the same rate as Darnold. He's in the same boat. Now, the thing with Love, though, is Love has had a season with throwing the ball almost 600 times. Like, we've seen that from him before. That's just a conscious choice. We haven't seen that from Darnold.
Okay, I'll put Love in that tier. Is there anybody else?
And he missed the last 3 games.
Yeah, that's true, too.
Anybody else I need to put in there?
No, I'm fine with what you had.
I mean, like I said, my tier 4 is 22 it goes down to 22. So from 11 to 22, I've got a ton of people. It's just a tier of guys that either have a pretty high upside, in my opinion, or have a really safe floor. One of the two. So my tier goes from Nix to Baker Mayfield, essentially. I could probably split that in 2 because I almost put Nix in a tier of his by himself, to be honest, because I don't know what to do with him.
See, I put Mendoza in a tier by himself.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird. I have like Cam Ward, Mendoza, and Stafford next to each other.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah, well, this is the problem with making linear ranks.
Well, it's like Dynasty. You're not telling me there's in any world where you would nearly pay the same for Fernando Mendoza as you would Matthew Stafford.
But then after that, there's nobody else.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford's in my tier 5.
But that's where it falls off.
I have him at 27
for me.
But he could win you a championship this year.
Sure,
yeah, he can. He can win you a championship.
Mendoza's not going to do that.
Or he could lose you, or he could get injured week 5 and lose you.
I struggled so hard where to put Stafford. So like the quarterbacks after him are also.
Would you trade
Goff,
Ty Simpson
Baker
for Matthew Stafford?
No, but
okay. Well, then there's your ranking. He's below Ty Simpson.
Where do you have Matthew Stafford in your ranking? What number?
I'm taking him off my board.
Okay, because I'm like, it sounds like you have him where I would have like Dak.
Yeah, that's exactly where I have
he
Dak.
can win you a championship, but you've still got some years left.
How old's Dak? 34?
32, 33, something like that.
Around the same age, and also
around the same age. Stafford's
Aren't they?
like 38.
Yeah, he's 38.
Okay, I'm still 34. All right, still getting our game legs.
Well, you always hate rankings because you think a lot of this year. You think you've always done that.
Well, yeah, because if it's going to win me a championship, then it's worth more than like Stafford's worth more than Goff to me because I don't believe Goff's going to win anything for me.
No,
like Goff is my QB2. Stafford would be my QB1.
But there's
in my lineup.
Yeah,
that's
but
why I struggle. That's why I'm taking him off my board. That's why I struggle with.
There's something to be said for a player losing all of his value potentially after a season, rather than a guy who can give you very, very productive QB2 years for the next 4 or 5 years, which is very, very valuable.
Okay, so all right, so let's compare Stafford to someone like Stroud or Kyler, who is a lot younger, but also may not have a job in 2 years.
I mean, I think they're at least comparable at that point. I have
Okay.
them not too
Well,
far
then-
apart. I have Kyler and Stafford neck and neck, actually.
Well, then, really, I just have Stafford above the other old guys: Goff, Dak, Baker.
And the young guys, the Mendoza, Ward, Shuck,
No. I had him above, below Mendoza, dude. Come on.
and Shuck and Young
Shuck.
and Ward and
No,
Daniel Jones.
no,
Oh,
I do not. Just Shuck in that list.
Yeah. I've got Stafford below all those guys except for you're gonna hate me for this, Austin, but I've got him ahead of Bryce Young. That's
you're out of
I
them. I
mean,
get it. There you are.
Stroud, Kyler, Bryce Young are all kind of.
I've got Stroud higher than you guys. I think I got him at 19.
All right, sell me on why Stroud over Bryce Young. Let's go ahead and get.
I mean, I've just seen it. I've just seen it for a year. I'm just hoping he can piece it together. If I can buy him for that price, it's just more like hope than anything else.
Fingers crossed.
Bryce has just been incapable of putting it together any of his seasons that we've seen him in the league. I still believe in the talent. I have plenty of shares, so it's not like I'm selling everything for nothing. But if I was going out and looking for a share fresh today, I'd probably go a bunch of other places. I would go a bunch of other places before I went into the Bryce basket again. That's been it's been a nightmare.
I haven't really dealt with much Bryce. I have one share.
I mean, it's been a mid QB2 the past 2 years. As ugly as it's been, he's been a mid 19 and 20 the past 2 years.
Low end.
Yeah. I mean, it's just with how long can they keep this going? Right.
I mean, I don't disagree with you.
Stroud and Kyler in the same boat to me. Neither one of them got an extension, so that tells you what the teams think. I think that both of them will get another shot with another team, but then they, it could be Geno territory till they get another shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think it's more likely to be a Darnold or a Baker thing than a Geno, but sure.
Well, both of those guys started to have success. That's what I'm saying. You have to
when
have
they left the team they were on. That's what I mean.
On the third team they were on. Because Darnold didn't come to the Panthers and succeed. You know what I'm saying?
Baker didn't come to the Panthers.
Baker didn't. It wasn't until he went to the Rams, I guess.
So really, what we're saying is it really
don't go to the
fault?
Panthers?
It's not Bryce's fault. You're correct.
I have Kyler in the same boat as those two guys. I mean, maybe Kyler gets one more chance, but it's kind of the same thing, right?
I've got Kyler at the top of my tier 5. I have him above Stafford. I have him above Daniel Jones, Bryce Young, even Ty Simpson. I think Kyler's the one quarterback in this tier for me where I'm like, maybe Daniel Jones too, but could see a pretty significant value increase depending on their play this season just because of the situation. Everybody knows, what that offense has looked like pre JJ McCarthy. Kyler at spots has been a good quarterback. He hasn't been one lately, but Arizona's also been kind of a mess, to be honest with you. So we'll see how much of that was the situation holding him back. I think he has I think he has a higher upside than any of the guys that did move places and succeeded, like Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold, Geno Smith, any of those guys. I see more talent with Kyler Murray than I do any of those guys, to be honest with you. So, or from what I've seen in the league, not college, but
they were all high first round picks. I mean, Baker and
I'm talking about from what I've seen in the league. Like Kyler has been a pretty good quarterback in the league. He has been a pretty good quarterback in the league. It's just fallen apart as of late, and Arizona hasn't gotten any better. So we'll see. I mean, if situations do mean that much, and we have seen they do mean a lot, then maybe he can come back to form. And we have seen he can have a high rushing floor. He can have pretty decent passing game, or can support a pretty decent passing game, and it doesn't hurt having arguably one of the top 3 wide receivers in the league, if not top 2.
All right.
All right, now sell me on why Cam Ward deserves to be up there.
Up where?
I mean, Cam Ward's he's 15 for me. It's just production. I mean, not production. It's just projection. I just watched him and I thought he looked pretty good. In spots, and you can kind of see what he could be. And I also like the wide receiver they brought in through the draft. So, we'll have to see if it comes together. I also like the addition of Wan'Dale Robinson. I think there's something to be said for having a group of wide receivers, to support a young quarterback. And now at least they have the semblance of that. We'll see, how the rookie turns out. But Wan'Dale Robinson is a good wide receiver too, if not one of the better wide receiver 2s in the league. That's not just, wide receiver 2 in name only, but really a wide receiver 1. Like the true wide receiver 2s, I think he's one of the best in the league.
And competent coaching makes all the difference in the world.
We'll see. We'll see if it's competent coaching or not.
I think Robert Saleh was a good coach till he got Aaron Rodgers shoved down his throat.
He's a great defensive coach. We'll see.
I think he was a good head coach until he just got submarined. They brought in Rodgers, and who was his offensive coordinator that he insisted on bringing with him? That was the Broncos head coach.
Hackett.
Yeah. Once that clown show started, Saleh really didn't have much of a chance.
Yeah, I mean, it's, he was driving it, though.
I don't think any of those were his decisions.
I don't know about that, man.
You got Woody Johnson with his finger on the pulse there. And you look at Daboll, he may not have been a good head coach, but he's a heck of an offensive coordinator. I think he'll do wonders for Cam Ward. That's the excitement for me is, besides the obvious upgrade in weapons, the offensive coaching is going to be good, at least NFL level, which it was not last year.
Oh no, that was a terrible situation.
All right. I mean, the rest of these guys, to me, it's just like the rest of these guys, I don't really see anything exciting here. Is there anybody that you want to talk about with like Penix, Willis, Tua, Shadur?
They're all below Stafford for me, so I don't really care at that point.
Ty Simpson.
He's just a weight. I mean, he's a cool hold. But that's all for me. I'd like to bring up Shuck. Where do y'all have him?
I struggled with where to put him. I don't know. So I have him just below the Baker, Dak, Goff tier and above the Kyler, Bryce, Stroud tier.
I have him 17 right behind Fernando Mendoza.
So for me, it's 23 behind
It's 22 for me.
I'm much higher on Dimes than you, Chad. I have him 19 just because I saw it be elite last year. So if he's healthy, I think it goes right back to that.
Yeah. For me, it's just the injuries.
Yeah.
I think the injuries are significant and have been significant, and that's the problem. So,
I mean, if they weren't, I'd have him much higher. I'd have him like probably low end QB1.
Yeah. For me, you guys know, I believe in the player, to be good in a good situation, especially for fantasy production. But I mean, he's injured every single year.
This is a new Chad. Hates Bryce, hates Danny Dimes.
No, I like Daniel Jones. It's just, when I'm buying a player, I'm thinking, it's.
Your mic's cutting, muting itself.
It said the host has muted you.
I was trying to unmute myself and I muted you. My bad.
Oh, no, that's all right. So when I'm buying a player, I'm thinking, half of it is or half of the thought is, what am I going to do with this player if I have to move on from him? And with Daniel Jones, I think the market's pretty non-existent, if he's injured, and he's injured every single year. So if I'm in a season and I need to move off of Daniel Jones, he's an immovable asset at some point. So it's just tough.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesse. I'm so happy you put that up.
Well, what did it say?
Jamie was nice in the comments and said Bryce needs a step ladder to see over his O-line.
Yeah, I mean,
He needs to do that
It's
thing,
true.
that thing that Brees used to do.
There was a
Breeze.
I mean, yeah, they're a half inch apart, so I don't think he had much trouble.
there was a guy. There's a guy got like leg extension surgery.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's an option. Well, I mean, like 7-8 inches. Not
We
much.
just get him. We can get him a periscope.
I can't talk much. We're the same height. I'm just not a professional quarterback. So
Oh, what is he? 6 foot?
No.
5'10" and a half.
5'10" and a half.
Yeah.
that's how you know. That's how you know
You're
he's
short,
short.
yeah.
When you have to throw the half in there.
The half.
I do it all the
I
time
was
in the doctor office.
I used to say I was 5'10" and a half all the time. But my spine compressed, and I'm like 5'9" now. Crazy. Not even kidding. I'd shrunk it an inch and a half. Nuts.
I'm not short. My spine compressed is that's an option. That's an option. You can go with that choice.
Definitely a choice.
Yeah. I'm gonna start using that. Like, no, you guys should have seen me before my spine compressed. That was
I do have the hand gimpiness to back it up. All right. Anything else on QBs before we go to overtime?
Nope.
Oh, here's one. Who was the hardest person in your ranking to rank?
Stafford.
Besides Stafford, we talked about him.
All right, let me look.
Probably Mendoza. I think I moved him 3 times.
Mendoza. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because initially I had him below the vets like Goff, Dak, and Baker. And then I was like, wait, there's no way I would trade either one of those guys for a top 5 pick in this class. So I moved him back up.
Chuck.
Yeah. He's another tough one. Mine is Tua. Really, really had a tough time with Tua. And the problem is
27.
I have him 29.
29.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sweet. Okay. So yeah, I have him 29 too, but I look at where he's at and I'm like, man, for that price, I'd buy him everywhere. So I just don't know what to do with him. But it'll be interesting to see how the season goes with those guys for sure. They all have pretty interesting question marks. One more question before we go, from each one of you. Who do you think either up or down is going to be the biggest riser this season, or biggest mover, I should say, up or down this season?
I want it to be Dart. That's who I'm most excited for. I think he has a top 3 ceiling, but we could also see him drop down with those Ward, Chuck guys, Stroud. We could see that kind of fall if he doesn't have a good season.
I think it's Daniels. If he has any kind of injuries this year and doesn't look elite in between those injuries, he's going to fall really hard. On the other hand, if he just comes back and he looks like he did right away as a rookie and he stays healthy, he's going to solidify himself into the top 5.
Yeah. Cam
Nice.
Ward's another really volatile name.
Yeah. Cam Ward's an interesting one. The interesting thing about Cam Ward though is if he goes in and has like a decent season, just above average.
Lost you. Oh, you're back.
Yeah, you're good.
Back. You're back, Chad.
Yeah.
I can hear your dog in the background. I've read his faces. He's so mad.
He must not be able to hear us because he's good.
Oh, that must be it. He can't hear us. That's why he's not reacting. All right.
Nope.
All right. I guess we're in the overtime.
Let's do it.
You watch anything good lately?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. It's been so long since we've been on. I watched Silo. That was really good.
I don't know what that is. What is
Apple TV show?
Oh, okay.
Is really good. Season 3 is releasing now.
What's it about?
Humanity is put into a silo because, like an underground silo,
Oh,
And
okay.
at the beginning, you don't know why, so I'm not going to try to spoil it. It's a really good show. There's like 10,000 people in a silo, and they don't know why they're in there. They just follow what's called the pact.
Oh.
And obviously 10,000 people in an underground silo can, not go good.
Yeah.
So it's really, really interesting. I think the time they believe it's like 150 years after what they think is a explosion and like the earth is toxic from chemicals.
Okay. So
It's really, really enjoyable. Like really good show.
post-apocalyptic. Okay. I might check that out.
Yeah.
Apple TV is always at least worth a try. Most of those shows are really good. Chad, did you want to finish your thought?
Oh, yeah. I was just saying with Cam Ward, the interesting thing about him is if he even has a season just a little above average, we could still see a pretty good value increase with him. So as long as he's not really poor again this season, as far as from a production standpoint, I think he could easily rise up boards because I think people generally want him to do really well, and people get excited by the kind of player that he is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already at QB 16 on Keep Trade Cut. I thought that was quite interesting. I mean, yes, we can absolutely see him jump, but the names above, I feel like he can really only go so far unless he has a really good season.
I have him 7. I have him 17, so I'm pretty close.
I think I do too. So like, I'm not even disagreeing necessarily. It's just, I feel like we're already getting that hype. I mean, he would have to jump Love, Purdy, Nix, and then it's Hurts, Dart, Lawrence, Mahomes. I mean, those are hard names to jump without a really good season.
I mean, I don't know. I think like a QB 12, QB 13 finish, I think he jumps all those guys if they
That's
have
a really good season. I mean, that's a really good season.
Yeah, as I said, a little bit above average. Average would be like QB 15, 16.
Yeah. I mean, he was one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
Yeah, he was worse than Bryce Young's rookie year, which is mind-boggling to me, but almost every analytic stat backs that up.
Hmm.
And on the tape, I thought Ward had higher ceiling, higher flashes, but analytically, he had a worse year than Bryce Young his rookie year, and I watched every snap of that, so that's pretty
All right, now we're in overtime.
Cool.
So I just watched an Apple TV show as well. Was Cape Fear?
Yeah, watched that. It was good.
I just finished it tonight. At least I mean, some of this stuff was kind of stupid. Amy Adams needs to go to acting school, but overall it was pretty good. Javier Bardem is one of the scariest people in Hollywood. I would not mess with that guy on my best day and his worst.
How do you know every person's name?
He's the guy from No Country for Old Men. Friendo.
So just call him that. That's what I do. The guy from Old Country.
His name's Javier Bardem.
No
He's a huge star. He's a huge star.
Well, they're all huge stars.
That didn't help me any, to be honest with you.
Anyway, I mean,
it's impressive. You always know their names.
It is.
I'm a fan. I don't know. It's weird because my wife and like my best friend are way better at this. So we sit around and they school me in this kind of stuff, and I sound like an idiot. So it's really weird.
I'd be very quiet around y'all.
Yeah, mine is the guy from the guy.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
That's what yeah. Or girl, the girl from, woman from.
So Jamie asks, wasn't Cape Fear an old movie? Yes, it was. It was an old movie, I believe from the 50s, and then remade in the 90s with Robert De Niro.
I do know that name.
Yeah, I know Robert De Niro too.
Good.
That one didn't have to.
And that was an excellent movie. So they took that movie and they made it into a series and they added all kinds of crazy twisted stuff. But yeah, I mean, if you're in for like a fun ride, I guess a lot of crazy stuff going on in that show. But that's not really what I want to talk about. What I want to talk about, Chad. You know what I want to talk about, Chad.
House of
what I
Dragons.
want to talk. Yes.
House of the Dragons.
Oh my God. So you good. You already know what's going to happen though, don't you?
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm sure.
No, but I don't know. But I don't know because they've changed so much. Even the last episode,
have they?
nothing like the books. Yeah. They changed so much, it's not even funny. So I think the author's like legitimately PO'd at the writers of the show because he's like, this is no longer my story or whatever. But yeah, it's significantly different.
So, did Sunfire die or not in the book?
How are you going to ruin this for people?
No, I don't want to spoil the books either. So yeah, they're just very different. If you haven't read the books, read the books because the books are incredible. So
one thing I'll say, I appreciate you just explaining the Winter Wolves to me because they don't really do a good job of that.
Yeah, they don't.
You don't know what's going on, and then later or in this last episode, they reference the Winter Wolves, and my wife's like, "What's that?" And I had
you're like, "Well, let me tell you."
I had to pause it. I was like, "Well, thanks to Chad." But like otherwise, I wouldn't have had any idea that those were the. I mean, I guess I could have guessed that it was the Starks or not the Starks, but the guys from the North.
Yeah, the North,
because that's their sigil or whatever. But they could have done a better job with that. And there's a couple of things, just the way it's made, where you're like, oh, he's about to kill that guy. Like they're talking very pleasantly, but you're like, yeah, that guy's not going to make it through this conversation. You can just see the way
it's very like mobster-esque, you know, you watch the mobster movie and you're like, no, but this guy doesn't know he's done. Like,
right. Yeah. Like he's smiling and he's way too happy about that. Nah, yeah. With all their names, when the eye patch guy,
yeah, Aemond.
Yeah, okay, kills the knight that was escorting his mother.
Yep.
They're like standing there talking, and the knight has this smug look on his face. I looked at my wife. I was like, "This guy's not going to make it."
Yeah. Aemond's he's an evil dude.
Oh, well, if you have white hair and you're a guy in that show,
you're probably not a good person.
Yeah.
Austin's like, what are you guys talking about right now?
This is a perfect example of the conversation with Jesse and his wife talking about people. I would be just like this. Yeah. Sit here and just nod.
You guys see any good movies? You guys see The Odyssey?
I have not.
I saw like half The Odyssey. I'm not even sure if it was half The Odyssey, but I got my car tires changed and I took a Uber to the movie theater, and I thought I had enough time to watch The Odyssey, and they were like an hour and a half early. I was like, this is the first time you guys are ever early, so I had to leave the movie theater to go pick up my car. The one time, I don't want them to finish early.
They're not going to like park it out on the street.
Yeah, but I had to be somewhere, so truly I didn't have the time to waste. They were just forcing me to waste the time, and I was like, well, this sounds like a fun, way to waste time. So, but the half that I saw was pretty interesting.
Amazing movie. I was extremely impressed. Best movie I've seen since Endgame. I'll put it that way.
Wow.
And if I were to spoil anything in that, y'all
probably don't do that.
I mean, it's only 2,000 years old.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised at the amount of people that don't read books. So
no, I know. Well, actually, trying to read the Odyssey on your own is probably pretty difficult. We read it out loud in class when I did it in school. That way, seriously,
out
loud in class. Yeah, everybody took turns. That way, if there's something going on in there, especially with the crazy, old timey language,
maybe I just don't know. But that sounds
stop
crazy.
And explain it.
It's because he didn't have to change homerooms all day.
Like who? The teacher read it the entire time, and y'all just sat there and listened?
No, we all took turns reading. I'm serious.
So he just called on people, and y'all just started reading it.
Yeah, absolutely. And
that's crazy.
you were supposed to have read the chapter the night before, and then you read it out loud in class, and then he would stop and explain certain things. It was great. It took a whole semester.
That's crazy. In my school, they were amazing. Like, you've got 2 weeks to read the Odyssey. Come back, you're going to be tested on it.
Yeah, that's
insane.
It was a great class. I had a great English.
That's all, and that does sound fun, though. To be honest with you,
I did watch Obsession. Have y'all seen that?
What is it?
It's that like viral horror movie.
Oh yeah, no, come on, you couldn't pay me to watch some horror movie like that.
It was.
Sorry.
It wasn't my cup of tea. The plot is really unique. It's definitely a one of a kind of movie, but it wasn't my cup of tea.
Cool.
Well, Jamie says Super Troopers 3 is coming out soon.
I've never seen them.
You should see
the first one. You got to watch. Yeah,
the second one was like,
yeah,
it came out like
the third one's probably going to be like that, but
yeah. The first one's
one
absolute classic.
Yeah, first one is really good.
I don't know if it still holds up because it's kind of 90s humor, but it was funny then.
You know what does hold up?
What's that?
Rush Hour.
Nah, I knew you were going to say that.
So good. So good. Which reminds me, I need to watch Rush Hour.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Two's the best, man. I just watch every time I want to. I have like the urge to watch Rush Hour. It's always Rush Hour 2. Rush Hour 2 is the best one.
I plead the fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fifth. I'm not giving any Rush Hour takes. I got murdered for that.
I just had to joke with you.
Yeah,
and rightfully so. Though.
I was just confused for a second because I was like, I'm 100% certain that's a Dave Chappelle skit.
Yeah, which is also hilarious.
That's in Rush Hour.
No, that's just me pleading.
I thought you were referencing the movie. I was like, oh, I'm not. I'm gonna let that go.
All right, y'all. We got a trade banger of the week coming up and a player profile coming up. Do you have anything else for this episode?
No, man.
All right, and if you're with us live, we're not going anywhere. Just hang out. We got lots more coming up.
Peace.